Hey guys, it's Quana back again with another review. Hope you guys are doing awesome. And thank you for joining me for what is my 200th video on this channel. I'm going to be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I just saw in theaters tonight. And I'm going to give you my thoughts about it as a lukewarm Guardian fan. But what does that even mean? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 follows our team still kind of reeling from the loss of their Gamora in Endgame. And spoilers for everything that has happened before this moment, but no spoilers in this video for the movie because I definitely want you guys to check it out. I had a good time, and I will tell you guys, honest to goodness truth, I don't remember watching Guardians 1 and 2, though I know what happens in both of them, and I know I have seen bits and pieces. I don't know that I've watched either of the other Guardians movies straight through. I know I didn't see either of them in theaters, so the only viewing I've had of them has been whenever they have appeared on television. So that's first and foremost, and I know that's kind of surprising because I'm such a big Marvel fan, but for whatever reason, the Guardians storyline just never really fully resonated with me. So I know that I saw Guardians Volume 1, but I only remember the latter half of the movie, and then I know I saw Volume 2, but I only really remember the front half of the movie. It's wild. However, I can now say that I've seen a Guardians of the Galaxy movie in theaters, and this is the third and final installment of James Gunn's iteration of this team as writer and director, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I think you will too. This movie has a lot of explosions, a lot of action. If there were any moments in the film where I felt myself kind of lagging in interest, literally 2 seconds later there was an explosion or there was an action sequence to suck me back in. The movie runs at about 2 hours and 30 minutes. I would say it's well deserving of that runtime. I think if I were going to trim anything off, it might be about 10 minutes of film, but very little of this felt like filler. It really felt like a true homage to this series. It really follows the idea of what happens to this group following the loss of someone that they love, and what does Peter Quill do, Star-Lord do, when someone else that he loves is also in jeopardy. Now, if you've seen the trailers, you kind of know who this film centers on. This film centers around the story or the backstory of Rocket, and something about this movie is making me so nervous for The Little Mermaid, which is one of my most anticipated movies of the year because Ariel is my favorite Disney princess, and Halle Bailey is amazing, and I think that she deserves all the things. But I bring that up because the CGI in this movie is so clean, and the animals in this film that are humanoid animals emote so much on screen. Every time you're staring in Rocket's eyes, you are feeling his pain, you're feeling his loss, his hurt, his desire, his anger, his frustration. It is amazing. And I kept just thinking to myself, definitely it's Marvel, so they get the big budget. I wish that whoever had worked on Guardians would have also worked on Little Mermaid, because I think that would have really helped them figure out stylistically how to keep the underwater creatures still looking like true underwater creatures, but finding little ways for them to emote a bit more. Although we haven't seen the film yet, so we don't really know. I'm just going off of the trailer. Everyone in this cast of the main crew did a phenomenal job. Nebula, Mantis, Drax, Rocket, Gamora, not our Gamora, but a new Gamora, Quill. It was really good to see this cast together again. This movie is humongous. this is such a massive undertaking, and there's so many characters that it was a tad bit overwhelming because you're just kind of keeping up with everyone. And there's it feels like everyone who was ever in a Guardians film was on set for this film. The villain of this movie is one of the darkest villains that we've seen in Marvel. Much darker, in my opinion, than Thanos for the things that he does and for his rationale for why he wants to do it and how he's going to do it and the lengths that he's willing to go. Feels much darker, and it makes me a little interested, because if we're getting such a dark villain in a Guardians franchise, what is it going to look like whenever Disney kind of figures out the after effects of what's going on with Jonathan Majors and having him be the primary villain for this iteration of the MCU. Because this was a dark movie. Still a lot of laughs, still so fun, but dark, very dark. Darker than, I won't say darker than Infinity War, but at times, yes. This is not for the little ones. Lots of scares, lots of things that will be scary to them. And you can really tell that this was James Gunn's final hurrah, because he really pushed the limits of like, what can I squeeze out of this rating and still kind of make it family friendly? He definitely was like, I'm going to milk this bad boy for all that I can. But it was just a fun film, guys. I definitely think you should go see it. I actually got the opportunity, thanks Geek Vibes Nation, because I got a chance to see it in IMAX, and I hadn't been to an IMAX movie in forever. I don't want to lie and tell you that I think the last IMAX movie I saw was How to Train Your Dragon, somewhere in the like 13 years ago kind of range. I don't want to lie and say that might be true. That might be really true. So it was really good to see in IMAX. I really enjoyed the experience. A lot of talk around MCU and just superhero movie fatigue. I definitely think that Marvel has produced some enjoyable projects during this phase. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. I really enjoyed Wakanda Forever. I have enjoyed the TV shows with WandaVision and Ms. Marvel. I've really enjoyed those. But I will say that it was nice having characters that we know so well on our screen, and it be a very happy movie for the most part, because we haven't had much of that in this iteration. And I think that's probably the thing that's missing, because the chemistry was just there and it was palpable and you really felt it. And y'all, I shed some tears. I know I was pretending like there was dust in the air. So it was definitely an enjoyable experience. But let me know down below in the comments if you are a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, and what your favorite of the trilogy is once you've had an opportunity to see it. And thank you guys so much for joining me for this 200th video. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, do me a favor and show your girl some support by clicking the subscribe button down below, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if I swayed you to go see the movie. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!